doing the work I do, being an attachment focus, systems theory focus, experiential psychotherapist, it's been really my relationship with men, my own masculinity has been very healing, right? Because what I have discovered through doing this work that about men is they actually do have lots of feelings. They're able to access those feelings and describe those feelings really, really well. And they're able to really listen to other people and empathize with them and then be very loving and connectful. It makes me a little emotional even talking about it. But yeah, there is a particular type of container that has to be created for men to be able to do that. Now, again, just the essence of my work, I talked about it. Remember, the first thing I have to do is help both people go from it's a you problem to an us problem. Just think about that as that's actually the floor, right? The floor of this container, the walls of this container. Hey, we both make sense, right? Like the roof, right? The roof is basically like, oh my God, this only happens because we both love each other. Like, so inside of that container, right, it calms the feminine down, right, enough that now it can have enough space to really access, right, the man and how they're really feeling and to share it and to be able to listen. So look, certainly the way I do psychotherapy, I think there's a lot of, and when I say just not just me, right, other people that do emotionally focused couples therapy, right, like it's actually easier to work with men. It's easier. Men get this is will blow people's minds, and this isn't just me. Men get it faster. Like, the story when couple comes into couples counseling, right? The woman, we'll stay in the gender thing. I lived in San Francisco for so long. I'm so scared I'm going to get in trouble. Like, talk about men and women, right? Okay. But like, look, the typical couple comes into counseling. The woman is like the story is they're incredibly emotionally intelligent and they have amazing access to their feelings. And the man is basically a Neanderthal. We just don't even know why he wasn't wiped out. Like, we're not even sure if he's like, a Homo sapien.
There's a really good stand-up. There's a really good stand-up series in there for you.
Exactly, right? Like, he's just like, how is he even here? We need to DNA test him, right? Like he escaped, right? The mass extinction of the Neanderthals, right? But if you think about their journey, just think about what an easier journey that is to be seen by yourself, society, and your partner as a Neanderthal. And then the other person is, right, even if they don't realize they're doing it, because they're a slave to this perspective in our culture, the zeitgeist, right? They're not doing it on purpose. They're not trying to be mean, right? It's literally, they're a victim of it too. The woman is a victim of this too. Like, I am so good. I've got so many feelings and my partner won't show up, right? I'm so good, right? Like, right? So like, and then I offer both of them, hey, come here. This is both of you, right? Like, it's both of you, right? You both are hurt and you're both hurting each other. It's so much easier for the person that's the Neanderthal to go, I could sign up for that, than it is for the person that, listen, I am basically a descendant of Queen Cleopatra. Right? Like, what a hard thing to sign up for. Wait a second. I am on the same level of you and I bring as much crap to this relationship as you do. Right? That's like, this is the crazy thing. Men actually have an easier journey in making relationship work just because they're starting off, right, on the lowest untouchable level in our society, emotionally speaking. So the perception, anyway, so it's the perception, right? So, so look, I find, there are more and more people that do work like this. And again, I can tell you, it's not just me. Most couples therapists, the emotional withdrawer, it's not always the man, can be the woman, is dramatically easier to work with. Just think about this. Let's say, even at the most extreme level, let's say you don't like me. Say you're the emotional withdrawer, right? You, Connor, right? And you don't like me, right? Like trying to get in the middle of your relationship, right? You just stop coming. I won't see you again. The emotional pursuer, let's say majority of the time, the woman, right? I might wake up with a horse's head at the end of my bed. Do you know what I mean? It's not just like you're not going to stop.
That's a good Godfather reference. That's
exactly.
a good Godfather reference.
You're getting them. Like, look, it's just like what it was, the way I put it recently is for women, there's many a therapist that does the kind of work I do, whose charred remains lie right outside the cave of the emotional pursuer woman dragon, right? They'll burn you alive. They'll burn you to a crisp right there, right? Now, just to be fair, to balance it out, there's many a therapist, right, trying to access the man's emotions that literally died of starvation and old age outside their cave, right? Like they don't know what they're doing, right? So look, every day I risk either being burned to a crisp instantly by, like, let's say the woman, the emotional pursuer, and or having, like, I'll literally starve to death trying to draw like vulnerability from the man, right? The emotional withdrawer. But yeah, anyway, look, I do think it's changing. I think psychotherapy actually really helps men, as long as it is based on some of these core principles, right? No shaming, right? We're not trying to change your behavior. We're trying to help you see what's good in yourself and love yourself and like make room for your vulnerability and be able to share it. I think it can be incredibly liberating and freeing for men.
I would agree with that entirely, especially good attachment work and embodied or experiential work. You know, my mentor, his name is Dewey Freeman. He's been doing developmental psychology and attachment for 40 years. It's a very long time. He actually taught at Naropa for like 30 years.
Yeah. Great.
Training therapists and whatnot. But his whole frame is around attachment. And it's different from the Bowlby, the sort of like John Bowlby stuff. Because I think sometimes that can be very helpful, but I definitely see people come in and it's like, oh, I'm an avoidant attachment style. Oh, right. I'm an anxious attachment style. And it's like, well, you're more than that. Maybe sometimes when conflict happens, you react from that avoidant attachment style, but that doesn't mean that that's who you are all the time in the context of your relationship. So yeah, I think that is right.